Hello everyone, my name is I Got Revoked, and this is my very first commentary ever. I am playing a Demolition on Hijacked with my buddy, I Abuse Your Host. I am using the 870 with long barrel and laser sight for most of the game, and then I end up switching the vector and finishing it off. I finished going 55 and 16, which isn't the greatest game ever, but it's definitely not the worst either. And the reason I'm posting this game is because at one point in the game I'm alone with all the enemies near B crate, which is the harder crate to get on this map, and I end up killing 5 of them to stop them from defusing, which was pretty fun for me to get and pretty fun to watch too. Um, so um, I'm gonna be trying to post like a video a week with commentary on this channel. I don't know how well that will go. I'm not the best at this commentary thing. I've already had to restart this commentary like 17 times or so. um, anyway, let's just kind of talk about what I do. I've started off playing a game called Rainbow Six Vegas 1, and I was actually really terrible at that game until like years later. Like I literally played it years after it came out, and people were still playing it pretty hard, so it was still fun, and there's enough people to make the games interesting. Excuse me. And so in that, I just kept playing, and then I eventually became really good and really competitive at it. And then the game kind of became really fun. Like I was having fun just playing it, dying or whatever. And then the whole like KD and wins and all that came into play in that game. Before that game, the only first-person shooter I ever played was Halo 2, and I wasn't good at that game either. Um, so in Rainbow Six Vegas 1, I ended up coming across this guy who, at this point, I was like really good at the game. I probably won about 95% of the games I played. If I didn't, the 5% was just usually flukes and stuff, or my team's fault. I hate to say it, but that's how it is. But I ended up coming across this guy named PPWS, and it standed for Pom Pom Williams, which that's his story of his own. But he's actually in this game, and this is about 4 or 5 years later. And since then, we pretty much been like a dynamic duo on every game we've played. And so we end up eventually Rainbow Six Vegas 1 died off, and we moved on to Battlefield Bad Company 1. And the demo had just came out. It was a multiplayer demo. And so me and him were like, like we're really good at Rainbow, but let's, like branch out. I mean, the game's kind of dying down. Got to find something else. It's starting to get boring. Just killing everyone. So we move on to Battlefield Bad Company 1. And this is a demo, though. And pretty much we sucked completely. Like, it's a completely different feel. If you've ever played Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and or Battlefield, they're two completely different games, not even close to the same. So we utterly sucked at that game, and kind of just jumped back to Rainbow Six Vegas 1. Long story short, we ended up going back to the demo because just winning over and over gets repetitive. So we go back to the demo, and there was the helicopter. There was only one map, and they let you play with the helicopter. So pretty much, I learned how to just hover in the helicopter, and Pom Pom Williams, who is actually I Abuse Your Host in this game, decided to just sit there and gun everybody and anything out of the gunner seat of the helicopter while I just hovered. And none of the enemies, like, the game was very new, so no one knew that they could shoot down the helicopter with like bullets, or really even tried to shoot it down with rockets or anything. They kind of just stared at it and just got annihilated. So we did that for a really long time on the demo, and then the game actually came out, and then we went to that game, and we had a really long and successful run on Battlefield Bad Company 1. I Abuse Your Host, aka Pom Pom Williams, um, actually became one of the top people for the shotguns, like top 10 on there. I would have been one of the top people for snipers, but I actually ended up switching to a different account. So, but that's a story in itself. So, by the end of that game, we were all pretty good at that game, and he was high on the leaderboards. I was in the thousands at least. Um, so then we switched from that to Modern Warfare 2, which was our first taste of Call of Duty. At least me. I don't know about Pom Pom Williams. And so we that was the first taste of Call of Duty, and I don't really remember the beginning of it. I just remember at one point we actually became good at it, or we already were good at it. Again, like I don't really remember how that started off. But at this point, I was really heavy into first-person shooters, so I was probably actually decent at it at least. And Call of Duty is where really, Battlefield Bad Company is where our not rivalry, but like our competitiveness against each other branched into what it is now. But um, yeah, Modern Warfare 2, we we would compete like for nukes and stuff in games just 'cause that's how we are. We're very competitive against each other, and I don't really have much to say about Modern Warfare 2. I guess I'm kind of stumped, obviously, as you can tell. Um, so I think at this point I get 5 people. No, that's just 3. Lame. All right, so we went from Modern Warfare 2 to Black Ops. And when Black Ops came out, we were all like talking about how bad it was and how much we were hating it. But actually, in the end of Black Ops, that was probably the best Black Ops that I ever, or probably the best game I was at. Besides like Rainbow Six Vegas 1, I was really good at. There's no footage of that though, but Black Ops 1 was probably like my star game. I ended that game with like a 4 win ratio and like a 3.5 KD. So, and that's not even like just with like the FAMAS and all the power weapons. That's like with anything. Like I have games where like I could pick up any gun in that game and just do good. But a lot of people could, so I'm not like saying I'm the only one or anything. I'm just saying that game I had a lot of fun in. And so from that, in that game, that's where like me and Robberry were. So I said Robberry, but it's actually I Abuse Your Host. Robberry was of his other gamer tags. That's where we really had a rivalry, cause we would both run pretty much the same kill streaks. So it's like, but usually I would launch my dogs before him, cause I just would get them before him, and he couldn't launch his dogs. And sometimes I'd even get like a second and third set before he could get his first set off. So I would have my second set, and he would be trying to launch his, but I would launch my second set before he could, cause I'd just spam the button. And we had a lot of fun doing that, playing off each other on that game. We ended up switching kill streaks. I would run dogs, and he would run like I don't really remember what he ran. He would run like one of the heli kill streaks, or I think it was Chopper Gunner. I think it was Chopper Gunner, because Chopper Gunner actually worked pretty good. But so we would just interweave our kill streaks, and it was just really fun. The game was really great. And then we go on to Black Ops 2, which is here now, which I'm not really complaining about the game. I have a lot of fun playing it, actually. There's no really complaints to have. It's just the way they changed whatever they changed really threw me off, because I'm used to being host a lot. Like, I mean, I don't really rely on hosts. I'm just, in Black Ops 1, I was pretty much host every game. So I'm just used to the way Treyarch games play on host. and whatever they changed or whatever to make it so I'm not host kind of threw me off because it plays differently. I literally never pull host in this game, but that's okay. I'm kind of just rambling on now. I'm sorry about like the dead spots in the commentary. This is my first time, and I want to make the commentary last. And so, um, yeah, whatever they did to change the host just really threw me off. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. It's just I don't play nearly as good in this game as I did on Black Ops 1 because of whatever they did for the host. Anyway, this guy gets like a 3-piece kill cam, so enjoy that, and hopefully I'll do better next time. Sorry about me just rambling on.